Let's check out the monthly report for August 2022. And as always, it starts out with AI content. They focused on new medical behaviors, creating usables. A desk, okay. So that's on the other side of the medical bed, medical fridge. This is where medicine is stored. Yeah, this I don't think will have anything to do with us. AI features, trait systems. Again, I think it will be very difficult to see traits of an NPC when they barely move. So I think we should probably avoid all of that. Although one day, if the servers ever run really well, this all might be super cool. It's just hard to get excited about this stuff for me, so I typically skip over it. AI tech, navigation link adapters, NPCs traversing. So this is stuff that we should be able to see in the game, even though it might be wonky. NPC movement refactor, specifically, they worked on a better separation of how logic is processed when animated. So again, that might be a network thing as well to make it a little bit better. Further iterations on NPC seamless transitions, some assumption editor tool, new features for ship combat behaviors. Again, probably won't be able to see too much of that. Animation, facial animations. Sounds like all Squadron 42 stuff to me. Character art. Continue developing collections of frontier and high fashion outfits. They also prepared armor variants for the upcoming Security Post Korea mission. Okay. That's interesting. So if you kill guards at Security Post Korea, they might have some unique armor, enticing you to go there, maybe. Cool. I actually like that. Ship art. Argo SRV still, which has been in the monthly report now for, I think this is the third month straight. An unannounced ground vehicle passed its final review. Resource management pass on the Aegis Hammerhead continued, with a new gravity generator room being added. Was there ever a gravity generator room? It was just that engine room in the back. I'm not a Hammerhead owner, and I don't spend much time in it. The team also began implementing the new component base. Okay. Work on the Mystical Sea continued too, with progress being made on the outstanding issues on the ship. I don't believe the Mystical Sea has been mentioned in the last few monthly reports, so that's kind of cool. And the U.S. team continued on the Drake Corsair. They also supported the Drake Vulture as it approaches release. No mention of the variant, that random variant ship that was mentioned last month. Community team began August supporting the Alpha 317.2 release. With detailed guides to the Siege of Orison. Okay. By the way, the community team stole this screenshot Reddit, and I think you should DMCA Star Citizen for stealing your screenshot like you want to do level cap. GG. This was Bar Citizen where? I don't know, but I haven't seen this picture yet, so that's pretty cool. Germany? Must be. My guess is Frankfurt. Engine team. I usually skip over this because it's always crazy stuff. Russian no longer await the reminder when this on in. Renderer Gen 12 continues. What's new? On the core engine team, are implementing more cooperative thread approach instead of just an update thread that utilizes parallelism. Like, yeah, it's all way over my head. I think when that stuff works, the game will just run better and we won't need to pay too much attention to it. Arena Commander features. This is actually for gameplay related things. It's actually quite a beefy few paragraphs here. The Arena Commander feature team progress with improvements to both Arena Commanders and Star Marines front end player experience. This will make finding matches and connecting to other players a more rewarding experience. Additionally, map improvements are in the works following community feedback. For example, Dying Star, the smoke cloud, has had its opacity reduced, and the ash particles were made smaller and less obtrusive, greatly reducing the overall glare in the level and increasing visibility. They are currently investigating using the progress radar and scanning improvements to show gas cloud and asteroid locations the players can use to hide in. UI enhancements were also made to the radar and scanning to help players look for targets and perform scans. Finally, bugs for the team's upcoming releases were addressed. Again, around Arena Commander, I think we need to change the game modes completely and like complete overhaul of the entire thing. Otherwise, I feel like a lot of this work is going to be wasted. but that's just me. And again, the Arena Commander feature team is supposed to be Star Marine, Arena Commander, and Theaters of War, and we're really only seeing work on Arena Commander. It may not be a large team, but still, I have my concerns with this because I feel like somebody in those teams could be useful elsewhere, right? We have a lot of issues with lack of people working on Star Citizen, and we have people working on Arena Commander. It's just my personal preference would be Star Citizen progress, and I feel like maybe this gets in the way. I don't know what you guys think, but that's just kind of how I feel. Because if you're not going to make major changes to Star Marine and Arena Commander to bring the player base back to them, I think even like map improvements and things are kind of a waste of time. Does that make sense? I know people play Arena Commander, but it's a pretty niche group of people, and I think that niche group can get wider if they made the game more gamey, maybe? I don't know. I want a reason to play it aside from like just getting better. Does that make sense? Features, characters, and weapons. Last month, the team revisited ladder traversal, adding support for entering and exiting a ladder at midpoints so that a single ladder can service multiple floors, while extending the feature set the opportunity to improve the mechanic, making it possible to look around while traversing the ladder, most likely in 360 review. With a large degree of freedom of the view, the team felt it made sense to allow the player to jump from the ladder in a direction they're looking, further increasing the options when traversing game environments. All the animations and poses are currently being updated too, alongside the early exploration of allowing item usage such as weapons while on ladders. How about like not getting magnetized to them? That'd be cool. I'm assuming maybe that had already been fixed and mentioned in a previous monthly report that I can't remember. The team is also performing a much-needed cleanup of the actor rotation handling. Actor essentially has 4 different rotations: the actual entity rotation, systemic orientation of the actor, the base rotation, desired orientation, and the aim rotation, where the weapon or held item should be pointing, and then look rotation, camera, and eye orientation. Each type has different rules and limits, but it's codependent. The team has been working to simplify the update flow, ensuring limits are only applied once and always in the correct order. Work also went into removing special cases wherever possible, as well as improving how inputs translate different rotations. The latter also meant improving how rotation input flows from the client to server, especially for head tracking devices. Okay. It's a lot on just a player moving their head, right? It's kind of wild. Feature gameplay. Again, look at the paragraphs on feature gameplay and look at the paragraph on head rotation. How is this real life? Gameplay features continued with the resource network work, with relay items for the Hammerhead and Hull A being updated to align with the vehicle content team's work mentioned above. They then started looking into setup of the Crusader Ares and other similar sized ships. Okay. A solution was also found around smaller items that connect to ship's power, like coffee machines and small lamps. This would also be utilized in the upcoming Colonial Outposts. I hope we don't need wires to connect these things. Like, there's wirelessly powered things now, right? Work on life support was finalized and is now awaiting downstream support. In the meantime, work began on a gravity generator. Finally, salvage is now in the QA test request phase, which involves fixing bugs and other issues. Hull stripping, not salvage, but okay. I think salvage is way more in depth. Salvage, hull stripping. Features, missions. Okay, this is beefy. Here we go. Mission feature team working on a variety of new missions and features. They also took part in the launch of Siege of Orison and planned improvements based on feedback. As the roadmap states, we are working on packing more content into Korea and the prison, and are creating mission modules that can be placed on Orison's platforms. All right, we know that. They also brought various teams together to discuss solving combat logging and are currently making a workable pitch. Whoa! Hey now, okay. This is like 318's on the horizon. Here we go. Very, very cool. This is why 318 being in game dev means something. Whether or not we have it, 318 making it into game dev means that designers can now make 318 make the game better. Like, actually awesome. Not just pirates rejoice, bounty hunters rejoice, everything, right? That's so good. Mission features are currently investigating how to lessen the impact of crime stats obtained through bugs. I think just low-level crime stats, we should call it, right? Like, when you become a murderer and are free to be killed, I think there needs to be a higher threshold. You know, just saying. In pursuit of this, they worked on a change that will make a CS1 and 2 not cause security or allow players to attack, meaning players will be able to request landing and reach the kiosks to pay off crimes, providing it doesn't cause negative knock-ons. This is planned for release soon. I'm not sure what negative knock-ons it can cause as long as they are freely attacked for a period. Like, they have a period of in-between state where you can attack them and not get a crime stat yourself, and they don't go to prison. I think it's a good middle ground. Mission features also prototyped a time trial race. The first iteration will likely not have leaderboards, but will allow for accurate time measurement with leaderboards, new tracks, and vehicle types following in a subsequent release. Alongside this, they investigate allowing players to rent and spawn the necessary vehicles at the race location for ease of entry. On top of this, the game design document and foundation work for Bounty Hunting V2 is nearing completion, which includes bounty drop-offs and use of virtual NPCs. A new investigation mission type entered the prototyping stage and is one of the most complex the team has ever tackled. You know what? Black Maze and his group of guys should be so proud. And at the same time, the community should be somewhat upset at this. And I think they are. I think we're seeing a lot of players wanting the game to move forward. The racing community has inspired the development team so much that you have the mission feature team working on a mission to basically finally bring proper racing into game, which, by the way, on these servers, do you expect the times to be correct? I do not. But I digress. They did such a good job of inspiring the dev team that they're getting, I think, work that was never planned, that probably bumped something that somebody else finds more important. And I think this is where, like, the hate towards content creators can sometimes come from, is they do feel like maybe a content creator has more of an ability to inspire a development team and maybe force action on something like this. And the players on the outside might feel like, damn, I was looking forward to something and now it's gone. And I think when people get hate, like I see it in chat, there's the difference between inspiring and lobbying. I don't think Black Maze ever lobbied for anything. I think they took it into their hands and did the best with what they had, and then that inspired CIG. I think recent events sound more like lobbying rather than inspiring, and I think that's where the more hatred from the community comes from. Not that I believe it was lobbying, but I think it was just somebody sharing their opinion. I think opinions are different than lobbying, right? It just gives a different feel. Your opinions have a different feel when there's a lot of people listening, I guess. But yeah, that's just how I feel about that. Is it's super awesome, but at the same time, why doesn't the mission feature team feel inspired by piracy gameplay? Why don't other teams feel inspired by bounty hunting gameplay? I guess they are, because we see bounty hunting V2 documentation, or cargo, or miners, right? Like, why didn't we see that inspiration? And why are we seeing it so much with racing? Is it a new initiative at CIG? Maybe. Will we see more of these things happen later on? Hopefully. I'm certainly not going to hate on the fact that they're happening for racing now. I just hope it continues on into other aspects of the game, and we get to see more devs taking maybe some of their free time or doing some cool stuff like this, right? The racetrack stuff is cool. You can't deny it, but hopefully it's not the only thing that they do, right? Vehicle features. August team had focused on the new multifunction displays and integrated ship UI system. I'm sorry, guys, if you hear any lawnmowers outside. They're literally right outside the door. I apologize. The team solved technical problems relating to the MFDs and nailed down detailed designs for various elements. Progress is moving towards finally on this feature, and that has been in the cards for a long time. That's cool. The team also currently working on the closely with the EUPU team on the resource network system. We're hearing tons about this. Significant research went into improving combat AI for fighters, with the team researching things they can do to make plans for how to implement them. I'm not buying it. Servers suck. It's never going to work. Graphics, VFX, programming, and planetary tech. I'm glad they kind of put all these things in. I typically skip this stuff. River tech, like, it's just all things that we'll see and not things that necessarily... I think that they enhance gameplay, but they're not really going to have a massive impact. Lighting, always skip this stuff, you know. Like, further worked on Pyro, great. Pyro when, you know. EU Sandbox worked on Colonialism Outposts. Again, another thing in Pyro. Whiteboxing various modules for the outposts. Okay, like, are they going to work? Are we going to do anything with them? Why do I care at this point, right? If I'm just going to look at them. The EU landing zone team's progress through Pyro's ruined station. I'm looking forward to this, actually. Because the concept art from way back in Ruined Station was such a iconic thing. But that's really the only reason that I care. Time is also dedicated to the revamped underground facilities. Okay, here we go. With the team whiteboxing the remaining layouts with a focus on how the player navigates the surface structure down to the top of the physical elevator. Work also was done on the entrance lobby and elevator entrance room, with the final pieces getting close to being set up for working in Whitebox. We're still using elevators, and they said the entrance. If we are not adding multiple entrances, literally quit your job. If you are not adding multiple entrances to this, you do not read our feedback. You do not you just quit, close the servers, give up. This game is never going to be good. Like, I quit. I just just please just stop what you're doing and just stop. Stop lobbying. Again, it's my opinion. I'm not lobbying. I don't care. The idea of they know that having one entrance is a problem. If they literally use an elevator that is one entrance and the only change that they make is a lobby room for that elevator, it is the dumbest shit of all time. They know they need a second, third, random entrances. It's why they're putting everything at Security Post Korea. I'm probably just yelling at the sky because it's most likely going to have second entrances. I'm just saying, if it doesn't, remember this moment, okay? That's all. And stairs or ladders would be amazing. Beyond whiteboxing, the devs explored the visual targets for final art with new asset kits being created, worked up for high polish. A push was also made for interactable props featuring modular machines, okay? These will provide great gameplay opportunities for designers to implement and exploration of puzzles. Okay, so like interactable cupboard, switch lockers, and fuses. Neat. Okay, so this is I imagine something that the Montreal team would probably take over, right, and do some cool stuff with. Different initiatives were explored for adding landing zones and feature work tasks for this year's IAE. Okay. And the buggy racetrack received extensive playtesting and bug fixing. A new fuel barge for Orison is now art complete, barring LODs, and will be used in the future for a variety of mission types. Okay. Remember this. Remember this when we hear some stuff from the mission feature team. That's an interesting one. Pre-production began on the new law and bounty offices, which will be found around the system and where bounties can be taken and new bounty missions can be found. Bounty Hunter V2 is a focus. That's cool. Remember that as well. The team also white box improvements to creator support mission feature teams. Gameplay initiatives, spawn closets were added to all landing zones, and improved signage was prototyped for Area 18 to help new players too. All right. Locations for Montreal. The Montreal locations team's dedicated time to debugging several polishing elements, including Daybar Derelict, okay, which is nearing completion. Oh, that's the new one, I think. The crash site is released in January. It was upgraded with AI loot. Oh, maybe not. I don't know the Daymar settlement. I don't think I've ever been there. The art team continued a wider library of habitations that will be used in upcoming derelict settlements. Okay. This allowed the team to create more diverse settlements with different gameplay opportunities. We'll see. Ongoing rework of Lorville's cityscape is progressing as well. That is what I swear it's one of the things I'm most excited about, and is now in gray box phase. You know what that means? That means that they have the opportunity to show us very soon. The team is currently adding high-frequency details and landing pads and connecting the various neighborhood together. The Daymar settlement's coming in 318. Okay, cool. I didn't miss it then. They also kicked off building interiors, with the first steps being prototype and de-risking of a number of technical items. I don't know what de-risking means, but yeah, very excited for the Lorville rework. In-game branding, tasks for IAE. Okay. Gold pass to make it easier for new players. We knew this one from last time. Narrative team. They're including expansions coming for Security Post Korea. They also explored narrative needs for some environmental missions currently in development. Okay. Team assisted on tech support and several development game features like hacking and salvaging. Narrative design in August. AI wildline sets. Hopefully some of the things outlined will be able to make their way into the game soon. No big deal. Player relations. Okay. Usually skip that. Interactables. They'll develop prototypes for deployable props. I think this is more of your Star Marine kind of stuff that we've seen many, many years ago. A bug harvestable. You can find these little critters in new caves. What? Okay, this is very different. What the heck? We've worked diligently to bring to life some of the verses bring some life to the verse in a very first of its kind, a bug harvestable. You can find these little critters in the new caves dotted around Stanton. Oh, it's this. I'm stupid. I thought that these boxes were like harvesting bugs. I'm like, is this April Fool's? Alongside harvestables, the team looked into consumables that the players can find through Pyro to keep themselves alive. These may not be appetizing, some don't even look edible, but in Pyro, you can't be too picky about what your next meal would be. I guess that's what this is. It looks like a box of seaweed. Tools Montreal, the release Mighty Bridge stuff. Procedural locations creations tools. This is a more game dev stuff. I usually skip that as well. Tech animation, alongside long-term planning, blah, 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 Maya, game dev stuff. Online services, bug fixing stability. They also fix bugs in the entity graph, login flow. Okay, so this is like 318 stuff, you know, persistence stuff. Live tools. Again, all game dev stuff I'm seeing here. Nothing crazy. Further development on the community hub, but we haven't seen it yet. UI, here we go. Still talking about the new star map. Artists worked on a range of concepts for terminal screens in different locations around the universe. Several bugs were fixed. And then focus remains on existing loadout systems ready to support persistent streaming. Okay. VFX, quantum travel effects. I think quantum travel is fine. I'm so curious about what they're planning on doing here and how they're changing it. Elsewhere, the team added effects to several new modular locations, including some crashed and derelict spaceships. They also began working on 2 new vehicles. Finally, work continued on salvage effects, specifically the hull stripping laser used by some vehicles. All right. Interesting. Used by some vehicles. Is there another vehicle that will be using the salvage laser? We saw that random Argo Cargo looking. The gray one with the thing that was pointed down that looked like a laser of some kind. Maybe a little mini salvager. That's what I think. A little mini mine airship or something. It's a weird one, but it might be a thing. But yeah, guys, that was the monthly report. Again, this is definitely going on YouTube, so any thoughts that you have about this, feel free to leave a comment below. But YouTube sucks for comments. So stop by my Twitch stream, twitch.tv/SaltEMike. Chat, we're here doing this live. Say hello to YouTube. And then discord.gg/SaltEMike, I think, is really where I would love to see a lot of these conversations steer, is our Discord. And I think we've had a lot of healthy conversation lately with also a bunch of miserable people who just hate Star Citizen as well sometimes and are super frustrated with the project. But hopefully we can all coexist together. And yeah, thanks for watching as always. Monthly report looks pretty interesting. I think this was a fairly beefy one, but love to hear your thoughts. Thanks for watching. Subscribe, like, comment, all that stuff. And I'll see you in the next one.